Hello, everybody. Welcome to the online e-poster session. My name is Monica Krista, and I am Atmospheric Sciences Officer in the International Data Center of CTBTO. It's my pleasure to chair this session with
Hossein Hassani. My name is Hossein Hassani. I'm the colleague of Monica. A pleasure to meet you here online, and I'm working as IDC Director at the CTBTO.
Thank you. So this online session assembles presentations from various fields. It is essentially non-SHI, so the seismic, hydroacoustic, and infrasound technologies are covered in the parallel session, online poster session 1. In our online poster session 2, we assemble other presentations. So there will be essentially presentations regarding radionuclides, atmospheric and subsurface processes, radionuclide technologies, and analysis of radionuclide monitoring data. We also have a bundle of OSI presentations, so the OSI relevant techniques, systems engineering, and STEAM functionalities. And finally, the e-posters, which talk about synergies with global challenges and outreach. And I'd like to underline that we also have one presentation which does not necessarily fall in any of those categories, namely about digitization of analog geophysical data. So many of you submitted 1-minute pre-recorded lightning talk, and we will start our session with broadcasting, with playing these pre-recorded lightning talks. Those of you who, for whatever reason, did not manage to submit this pre-recording lightning talk will be given an opportunity to introduce their poster right after we played the lightning talks.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. In addition to what Monica said, there is an opportunity for you to send us the question using the app that you have and any other communication channel that you think is necessary to send us the question, even during the talk. We will register the question, and relevant to the author, we will play it and ask the question after the lightning talk and introduction of the author as well.
Hello everyone, I am Jonathan Muchai, and today I will take you on a short journey along one of the most fascinating tectonic structures in northern Albania, the Shkodër Bay Fault Zone. It stretches northeast, combining transverse thrust and oblique faults, shaping the terrain for millions of years. Formed during the Alpine cycle and reactivated in
Hello everyone. My poster is about comprehensive seismic study of North Sulawesi in Indonesia. I will discuss about P-value, seed value, and also earthquake recovery time. The aim of my research is to explore seismic activity in North Sulawesi, Indonesia, for earthquake.
Activity concentration of norm in Jakarta, Indonesia in 2023. The study aimed to identify the variety of norm in Jakarta during 2023. The result of norm radionuclide concentration from air monitoring with the high volume air sampler tool are lower than the result from the snow white tool. Thank you.
Good morning. I'd like to talk about our work on digitizing analog data. Digitization of historic analog seismograms is an imperative need, as most nuclear tests were recorded in analog media only. Conversion to digital format is both resource and time intensive and requires specific expertise. To assess the effectiveness of digitization software available, we performed a broad literature review and identified 4 prospects. You can see the results here from the 3 we could gain access to. To To test these codes, we developed a Python toolkit to generate synthetic analog records. We use this synthetic data as part of a tiered approach along with scanned and digitized historic data. Our synthetic generator faithfully represents characteristics and challenges of analog seismograms. As the number of nuclear tests conducted during the digital data is comparatively small, we can use our synthetic generator to produce and augment AI/ML training datasets for machine learning applications. We show here some of our initial testing results, but to see more, stop by our poster. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Ch2, and I came from Hubei Technology University, Hubei Province, China. I'm very glad to introduce our study about further study of the multispectral equipment based on the first OSI equipment list. Our breakthrough includes the airborne multimodal image spectrometer (MS), developed by the Shanghai Institute of Technical Physics, China Academy of Sciences. This system covers visible to shortwave infrared bands and is paired with advanced software for pre-processing and data analysis. Field tests have already validated its ability to classify land cover and identify soil alterations, marking a significant step toward standardized OSI procedures. Looking ahead, we aim to expand field experiments and refine operational protocols, ensuring this technology becomes a cornerstone of global non-proliferation efforts. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sergey Pakumov. I represent the Clopium Radium Institute, St. Petersburg, Russia. Our poster is devoted to the development of a new type of detection system for measuring Ogon-37 by registering scintillation in liquid Ogon samples prepared from air. The main advantage of the new system is a multiple increase in the volume of the measured sample. A prototype of such a setup was developed and tested, but the required registration efficiency was not achieved. To increase the efficiency, the development of an electroluminescence measuring chamber has begun. The expected increase in luminous flags by at least 10 times will provide sensitivity sufficient for measuring the radioactivity of Ogon-37. If you want to know more, come to our poster tutorial.
Reading, I present to you the use of geological and geophysical technique for on-site inspection. Study keys decided gravitational slope deformation near the active volcano fault north of Bailadores, Mérida State, Venezuela. Introduction. This work presents the result obtained through the use of geological and geophysical technique for identification of large unstable regions, which can be used in site inspection. The study is located in the western Venezuela Andes in the Paramola Negra. Methodology using aerial photographic and the satellite image. The zone of weather deformation was mapped, identifying the site where geophysical methods will be taken, use electrical methods and electromagnetic methods using ground penetration radar. Result: geological mapping serves and basin for identify surface deformation and base of measurement taken with ground penetration radar and electrical methods, looking the zone of radar deformation in the first 5 to 10 meters of depth. Conclusion: geological map the area with the radar deformation allow for selection of the measurement set of geological data acquisition using electrical and electromagnetic methods. This methodology can be used in site inspection. Thank you.
Hello everybody. The title of this presentation is Cesium Activity Concentration at Eastern Europe IMS Particulate Stations in 2011 and the Influence of Meteorological Parameters by Khalid Yassin Ibrahim. Our poster is about cesium activity concentration at Eastern Europe IMS Particulate Stations in 2011 when radiation was released into the atmosphere and water in the days after the Fukushima nuclear disaster and the influence of the meteorological parameters. Cesium activity concentration collected via RN toolkit. and the theoretical data derived from NASA Power Access were used to perform this study. The results illustrated the increase of cesium activity concentration in March and April. Meteorological data represented the influence of these parameters on the variation of cesium activity concentration. Also, a mirror diagram was constructed to verify wind parameters at station sites. The below figures revealed examples. For more details, I invite you to visit my poster. Thank you.
The photovoltaic energy storage system is based on a 1+N architecture, comprising one storage control container and N solar power conversion containers. The storage control container integrates an energy storage system and an intelligent energy management system. The solar power containers feature high efficiency, lightweight, and flexible modules. Leveraging modular containers and dimension transition folding mechanisms, this system enables rapid, semi to fully automated deployment and retrieval. It is capable of operating on diverse terrains, for example, mountains, plains, islands, achieving a sub-30-minute cycle time with a 6-person crew. The energy management system ensures safe and reliable operation and supports incremental expansion, and the visual interface is interactive, intuitive, and user-friendly. As a complete set of emergency power supply solutions, the system can provide continuous power support for off-grid areas quickly and solve power shortage problems in remote areas for OSI exercises and missions.
The Ch2 3D Decision Support System is a web-based geographic information platform. The system integrates monitoring data to quickly identify suspected areas in different terrains such as grasslands, deserts, and mountains, by fusing high-resolution remote sensing data with digital elevation models. It enables the confirmation of inspection boundaries and 3D terrain analysis. It supports the marking of managed access areas, incorporates overflight path perspective simulation, combines data fusion analysis with field teams to assist expert groups in carrying out action plans and inspection operation management. After deploying nuclear radiation monitoring and radionuclide sampling equipment, it can generate real-time radiation spatiotemporal distribution maps and construct a search logic guidance model. The system is based on open-source software and data. It has the capacity for OSI data management with the professional guidance of the PTS experts.
Hello everybody, today I introduce our CZT competent camera. For its main specifications, the energy resolution is smaller than 1.2% for this energy. Both optical imaging view and radiation imaging view are 360 degrees. For user operation interface, the upper part shows real-time distribution. For radioactive material, the lower part is spectrum. Other parts provide assistant functions. For its applications, it could be used in inspection bays to find contamination and to protect officials. It could be also used before and after decontamination to make sure the cleaning is okay. Robot can carry the camera to image special area, and officials can also carry the camera to do the detection inside.
Hello everyone. On behalf of the joint team, I'm presenting electronic and magnetic sensing-based integrated simulation platform system solution to OSI trainings and exercises. As we all know, CTBTO is an organization which has a heavy culture of nuclear and radiation safety. So OSI trainings and exercises can be practical and meaningful only if they could be conducted under the nuclear radiation environment. So this work actually is based on the practical requirements. We identified practical challenges and we provided solutions to the above mentioned requirements. So there are 3 core elements of study. The first one is radioactive sources and radiation fields simulation. Second one is shielding material simulation. And third one is digital simulation. And we have carried out a complete system solution, and this has been used for some practical scenarios. Thank you for your attention.
My name is Casima Canjani Gonçalves de Mendonça, and together with Dr. Letivan Gonçalves de Mendonça, Filho and Professor Marcus Vinicius Sereno de Carvalho, I will present the paper, Artificial Intelligence and the CTBTO, a SWOT analysis in the context of 12 global megatrends. This study examines 12 global megatrends and their implications for the CTBTO's mission. It demonstrates how artificial intelligence can enhance verification, threat detection, cybersecurity, and global engagement, particularly through the international monitoring system, data analysis, and on-site inspections. The SWOT analysis highlights AI's strengths and opportunities while also addressing its risks and challenges. By balancing innovation with risk mitigation, the CTBTO can strengthen its mission of ensuring a nuclear test-free world within a rapidly evolving global landscape.
Tackling trust in the treaty, new technologies and diplomatic strategies to build confidence in the CTBTO. As technological innovations emerge and global developments rapidly unfold in an increasingly connected world, how can we ensure the CTBTO remains at the forefront of nuclear test monitoring while gaining support from governments and their citizens? In this e-poster presentation, I, Francesca Crema, along with Amber Gaskell, will explore developments in AI, monitoring technologies, and open-source intelligence to strengthen the CTBTO's verification program, opportunities to enhance outreach by decentralizing CTBTO diplomacy and initiatives, as well as evidence-backed strategies and opportunities to be implemented at international, regional, and national levels to encourage diplomacy and collaboration. We believe that focusing on this multidisciplinary approach will help build trust in the CTBTO from states, institutions, and individuals. For more information, please attend our e-poster presentation on September 8th. Thank you.
My name is Anna Mekhan, and together with Ibrahim Khalifa and Olga Yevravlova, we present our e-poster, SnT Conferences, History, Accomplishments, and Role in Supporting the CTBT. We analyze the evolution of these conferences from a small gathering in 2006 to over 2,000 participants in 2023 and assess their role in advancing CTBT verification, global scientific collaboration, and civilian applications. We also offer recommendations on enhancing inclusivity, media outreach, and sustained innovation. While many of us would have valued the opportunity to share the findings in person, circumstances and limited support mean that today we join you virtually. In a way, this reflects one of our central messages, that wide support for participation, particularly of women, youth, and researchers from NX2 states will help achieve universal and long-term objective of SnT conferences. Please see our e-poster for more details. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My post is streaming to CTBTO verification research to the Association of NC Technology. Insights for the permanent exhibition Arbitrary Venezuela Science Country. My name is Mayra Duran. I'm from Venezuela. The Venezuela Funds for the Seismology Research Funvisis and the National Music Funds through the Ciencias Music have created a permanent exhibition to raise national awareness about Earth seismology activity, its characteristics and consequences, integrating the technology of the International Monitor System NC into the exhibition of to complement the training and education program.
Hello everyone, I'm Christophe Guy from the Belgian Nuclear Research Center, and in this e-poster I'm presenting with my co-authors a study we did on an alternative silver exchanged zeolite for noble gas collection and separation. Well, there have been recent breakthroughs in xenon collection and separation using two synthetic silver exchange zeolites which are used in new generation IMS noble gas monitoring systems. And our question was, can we find other silver exchange zeolites that could be used for this application to ensure the long-term availability of these materials, but also potentially to further enhance the xenon collection and separation process. So we investigated a silver exchanged natural chabazite with a surface treatment to homogenize the surface. And first we measured the xenon adsorption capacity in air, which was about 10 times higher than activated carbon, but still 2 to 4 times lower than the two materials which are currently used in new generation systems. Yeah, there are other results we present in this e-poster. This is research which is ongoing, so this is still very promising for the future. And I invite you to see our poster, which is 3.274. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much to all those who submitted the pre-recording lightning talks. We just played them all, but we'll pass to another presentation. So there will be a presentation which contains all the e-posters and lightning talks submitted, for which we didn't get the pre-recording talks, because we would like to give to the authors an opportunity to have a 1-minute introduction to the e-posters. So we'll go through the e-posters one by one, those which had not been presented yet, and we'll invite the speakers, if they are present, to speak for 1 minute about the e-posters, and then we'll proceed to the next one. So are we sharing the screen with...
Yeah, I would like again to take the opportunity, if there is any question for any of the presentation, please post it here. We register them and then we ask after to answer the question. Thank you.
So I believe that the first e-poster is from Gatic Suharyono, but he's actually submitted the lightning talk, so we'll skip to the next slide. So the next slide is by Punek Tayebi. Punek, are you online, and would you like to present an introduction to your e-poster?
Pune, are you online? We can.
I can't see. We'll move to the next one. So the next e-poster is by Robert Walker. I wanted to ask Robert if he's online and if he would like to say a few words of introduction.
Hey, I did present the lightning talk, so you can move on.
Did?
Yes. Yeah,
oh,
thank
yes,
you.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry.
The next. Tim.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Fauzi from Malaysia Nuclear Agency. So our poster is inspired by the research by the Dr. Terzi from CTB2, I believe. They have introduced the trans-equatorial method for the forecasting of monsoon onset and withdrawal. So what we are trying to do is actually to try to adopt and adapt the methods and try to with our monsoon onset and withdrawal in Malaysia. So the result will be presented during our poster. So that's just a lightning talk for the posters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martin.
Right.
Next. Christoph, you already presented lightning talks to the next one.
This one as well. Next. Let's give Jennifer.
Yeah, the next e-poster is by Jennifer Wilson. Jennifer, are you online, and would you like to provide a short introduction to your e-poster?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
So this poster highlights the geologic and geophysical characterization that we did of volcanic tuff from the micron to the meter scale in support of source discrimination modeling. The work was done as part of an ongoing series of underground chemical explosions called PE1 or Physics Experiment 1, which is designed to generate data for testing empirical and simulation-based monitoring methods. Understanding the data sets that are generated from the experiments requires a thorough understanding of the test bed, which is located in the state of Nevada in the US. And the work that we present in this poster includes geologic mapping, collection and analysis of petrophysical and geomechanical properties, as well as geophysical borehole logging. The first order application of this data set, as you can see in these images, is an update to the geologic framework model, which directly feeds modeling and simulation codes that furthers our ability to analyze and simulate explosion-induced signals. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. So we'll move to the next one. The next poster is by Valentin Gravirov. Valentin, are you online? Valentin, are you online? Oh, I can't see. We'll move to the next one. Okay, so it's the same e-post, yes. Anu already spoke, yes. And so did Sergey.
Suarez, are you online?
Reynald Suarez, are you online and would you like to present your e-poster?
Next.
That one was presented already. I think so. I'm not sure anymore. Let me check.
This was presented.
Yeah, it was presented. That was presented, yes.
Yes,
It's already presented.
Yeah. Already did.
Yeah, that was already
Yes,
presented,
yeah.
yes. It's, you finished?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. So we had an overview of the lightning talks on the e-posters. Now I propose we pause for 5 minutes. I mean, everybody will be online, but I would like to give the audience the opportunity to verify the e-posters of their interest. And after 5 minutes, we'll open the floor to the question and answer session.
At the same time, if we miss anyone, the floor is yours to introduce themselves, just in case. But I'm pretty sure that we will have it.
All right, so 5 minutes passed. I would like to invite you to have a look at the e-posters of interest to you. We will then read out some questions which appear in the live chat and direct them to specific poster presenters. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. The first question goes to Jennifer, I believe. The question is asked, could you elaborate more on data generation and particularly data pre-processing technique that you have used in order to reduce the noise level, and how much does it help you if you use data pre-processing? Can you give us some percentage? So that's the first question. And then I have other questions as well. I can ask more
afterwards. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jennifer, yeah,
Yes.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
So the data that's generated is largely observation based. The processing that's done is pretty minimal. We have the most processing that's done is on the geophysical borehole log data, and that is density and velocity data. That is the data set that I'm least familiar with. I'm more involved with the geologic mapping and the collection of material properties data. The material properties data includes thin section work, so optical petrography and scanning electron microscopy. The geomechanics lab data that was collected does have some processing to generate the voltage data that is collected by our equipment to give us an ultrasonic velocity or the elastic properties. So it's actually, there's not much in the way of pre-processing that I could comment on.
And what about the noise level? That they said if there is, and there would be. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have a good answer to that question.
All right. Yeah. If there is any follow-up question, definitely I will ask. And do you have any question, or should I read the next question?
No, please read. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, please read the next.
So the next question goes to poster 3.300. I think it goes to Taya. If I ask, give a presentation, if I missed the name, she or he is mentioning this. A comparison study that shows the magnitude and electrical survey to see that which kind of period or technique they have used for on-site inspection. This is more or less the question I received.
That's the question.
3.300. And those that they're asking question, he or she is not even sure that if it is.
No, I believe we do not have material submitted for that e-poster.
Okay. All right, so it should be some other. So if any of the presenters have this question related to their work on, if not, then I go to Robert. The next question goes to Robert. To what extent can AI assist your work? And do you think it could ever fully replace human involvement? Robert, the question is yours.
Well, we really don't know. The point that we're trying to do is just generate enough training data to get one idea, get a feel one way or the other. I have some personal thoughts with regard to it, but I'm going to hold back. The answer is it's really too early to tell.
But are you using artificial intelligence in your analysis?
At the moment, we're using we're using just standard signal processing methods to generate training data that replicates historic data. We have not yet completely thrown that at an AI model yet.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. The next question goes to Juan. How did you see the involvement of youth in the conference?
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the involvement of youth was, it didn't start off very well. If we talk about the earlier conferences, like we had Symposium of Synergies with Science from 1996 to 2006 and beyond. That took place in 2006. Then in 2009, we did not see, when we had International Scientific Studies Conference, we did not see much of the youth participation. However, later in Science and Technology Conference 2011, we saw that there was again not much participation of youth. But in the later conferences, if we look at the conferences of 2017, 2023, we saw an involvement of youth in a few sections. And since there was this youth CTBTO group, there was also, for example, in 2017, there was this youth newsroom initiative by the youth CTBTO youth group. And notably, I would like to also talk about the involvement of women, because that, gender inclusivity in science and technology conferences is also really important. In that domain, if we look at certain aspects, according to the data, although in 2006 and 2009, there wasn't much involvement of women, but maybe if we talk about the representation, in 2009, we had only 6%. In 2011, they were 26. In 2017, we had 31. And the highest number in all of the SnT conferences of when we talk about involvement of women was 49 in 2019. And in 2023, the latest one, it was just 35. So I think as there were more than 200 presentations and abstracts sent, I think we can do better. And there needs to be more involvement of women and youth. For instance, especially the women who represent areas like or countries or regions from non-Annex II states, the non-signatory states. It is all the more important to provide them more funding because people like us, we cannot break barriers or touch high ceiling glasses only until and unless we are given some space in this domain. So it is very important to add Global South. And you see, the involvement of youngsters is so important that they always give something new, and they give some very unconventional ideas about how to go, because we need to understand that now it's about Gen Z. Even us millennials have passed it. I think we are going through mid-career crises, but we have Gen Z, where the Gen Alpha is coming. So I think SnT has to do more in attracting youngsters and women through these conferences. And one way, which we already mentioned in our paper, was by giving more space through media, by projecting. It's such a high level conference. Why not invest more in media and perception building and narratives and news stories? It should be the talk of the town on Twitter, the SnT 2025. So you need to invest more in that. I think I'm done. Thank you.
If I take the opportunity, thank you very much, because there is another question that is asking, can you elaborate more on the participation of women in SnT? This is exactly in line with what you just mentioned. Yeah, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yes, brilliant. And also I would like to say that even the reports that are made post CTBT conferences or SNT conferences, I should rather say SNT conferences, there is a need to give more dimensions to the study and the outcomes of those conferences. For instance, it was very difficult when we were, my group, my team members, Olga and Ibrahim, we worked so hard, but we couldn't find the exact representation of regions and areas and countries and women and youth. So I think we need to add more graphs, more understanding, and we need to make it more catchy for the youngsters, because one more thing is really important, if I may be allowed. It's only not about going for the scientific side of things. The whole verification mechanism, the debate on CTBTO and its universalization, all that also encompasses, parliaments, that encompasses politics of things, that encompasses IR, social sciences. So there's a need to give space to interdisciplinary research, because even if a scientist has conducted a study and that is represented here well enough, but that has to be understood by people, the public, and the masses as well, to show how positive things a CTBT does. For example, the IMF stations, the disaster risk reduction through these stations. So we need to elaborate more on the interdisciplinary approaches to go and talk to the public, to make others understand as well, not just the scientific community and academicians and the people who are already in it.
Thank you very much for the elaborate answer. If I may, do you have any question or continue?
I have a question, but let's finish the question from the audience and then I'll come with my questions.
The next question goes to Ethan, if I pronounce the name correctly. What additional software or solution do you think could be developed to further support your work?
Is it an online?
She was one introduced.
No, she had a lightning talk, but I'm not sure
if not, then I goes to Luis Maria. Are you online? Not, then I go to Davila. Are you online? But the question for, I'm not sure if she's online or not. And then there was a comment that said, I have no access to ePoster, that they would like to look at it. I would invite you to look at the SnT website. All the poster abstract are there and quite visible. And if you have an app, then you can go to the app as well. So the other question is, I asked the senior member if they would like to answer. Here is an invitation, because it's for all. And then the question is, what can be done to attract Gen Z generation, as you know, and the Alpha, who are designated with the concept of disarmament or not purification on a nuclear testing. How we can, in fact, the general question is how we can attract the youth and the new generation. We hear about this comment from Khan, and I would like now to involve one of the senior to see the path that they can see that we can attract the youth, and from middle, then we ask Khan to bring it up, or anyone who is young. I can see a couple of faces here that they can answer this, but the general question, how we can attract youth or Z generation. Yes, please.
Yeah, if I may.
Go ahead.
I don't want to hijack the session, but being one of the younger members of this honorable panel, I would say one thing, that we need to go to their level and make it attractive on their level. For example, they're interested in social media, they're interested in emissions. In one of our recommendations, Ibrahim Khalifa was one of our co-authors. He said that we should introduce the VX, the virtual reality in the SnT conferences, a booth where you can show that what are the devastative impacts of nuclear testing. And the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they're mainly into gaming, and even us millennials are as well. So we can create some scenario based games in which you can add some educational purposes, making them understand the science and technology of things and the disastrous consequences if proliferation of such a weapon happens. What happens if such a weapon is detonated? How much impact, or would it bring nuclear winter? And the game can sort of be a way for them to win. They would need to avoid nuclear winter and all states getting together and talking about things, which is actually happening, because I see the states which are not part of CTBT yet, they still come as observers and still talk things out, and that needs to be delivered to the next generations, or else they would stay disengaged, they would stay away, they wouldn't understand, and they're going to be the future bearers of such places and such high esteemed panels. So I think we need to attract them through their means rather than our ways to impose on them.
Thank you. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. One thing that's very interesting in using artificial intelligence is you can talk in any language. We develop a chat when we are start to studying the possibilities of the use of artificial intelligence. We believe how we can make it easy to new generations, how to talk with them. So we develop a chat. I believe that in the next few months, it's possible you talk with avatar, but the chat, you can make questions about the CTBTO in any language, and you will give the answer in any language. Imagine an avatar, and you can talk to the new generation in any language, not only English. It's very, very good to show. I also agree that a game that can show the problem that we are living with the needs of monitoring the nuclear weapons will be very good, because the new generation loves game. But artificial intelligence also can be used by us to reach the young people, the young, and so it's necessary to develop the more mediatic ways to talk with them. Our contribution is the chat, but just to show that the most important is able to talk in any language. It's not only English, and in places that the people don't have the knowledge of English language, I think it's very good. And in the future, we will see many new. We will be fascinated with is coming to happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Monica, go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. So before we give the floor to Francesca, I saw that in the chat there is a question, see the poster does not work in the app. So could you try, instead of see the poster, go to see the abstract? And actually, if you open the see the abstract, there should be the links to the e-posters, to the lightning talks, and to the pre-recordings. I suspect the links might have been swapped.
Thank you.
Now, Francesca, the floor is yours.
Hello, can you hear me, see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your perspectives and for bringing this question up. And I know that was really cool discussion that you had. Amber Gaskell and I, who's also on this call, we created a presentation to go over ways how new technology can and decentralizing the CTBTO can help in building trust in the treaty. And that incorporates a large amount of grassroots initiatives and outreach and really appealing to students and youth members, including our own personal experiences. This is our second SNT that we've attended. We were in SNT 2023, which was supported by our university and a course that we both took together, which Amber can talk more about in detail as well. For myself, I participated in the Early Career Women in STEM mentorship last year, where I got to work with a woman working in the IDC at the CTBTO, and we got to talk not only about technical projects and share technical skills and knowledge, but talk about our own experiences as women in STEM and share our differing experiences as well, coming from different cultures and backgrounds and languages. And so having organic platforms where people can share these experiences is very, very important. And this is also something that's happening in the CTBTO youth group, in their WhatsApp groups. And so the CTBTO also has to encourage and support these platforms that people want to be creating and are existing. And also just having, with all these new technologies that are being developed, not only in the scientific side of things, but also in new media, in things like social media and TikTok and things that the younger people are more involved in, the CTBTO has to stay up to date with as well. And so having hands-on workshops and having experts in the field and also like not just experts, but like the people who are actually using those social media, the Gen Z, the Gen Alpha, the millennials, all that is incredibly important to hear from. And yeah, so Amber, would you like to add on to what I'm saying?
Yeah, so our presentation kind of divided how the CTBTO can decentralize its activities on different levels. So we had we were looking at international, regional, and national perspectives. So this would apply more to the national level. And we see a lot of opportunities for the CTBTO to expand its presence and public awareness of its activities through establishing affiliated organizations across academic institutions and civil society. So for example, at our university, we have like Médecins Sans Frontières Club, and then there's also like several UN organizations or Amnesty International. And so we found that there's like a lot of awareness of what these activities are for, and if the CTBTO could establish itself through student societies, we think that there could be a lot more engagement at that level and interest in Gen Z and other younger generations. And it's also worth noting that nonproliferation has been a mobilizing force for the public since the Cold War. But such movements have been largely unmoderated without international organizations fully tapping into the political potential of this critical mass. And the CTBTO has a lot of soft power influence. We see so much participation in the youth group chat from underrepresented regions, for example, and we think that involving the CTBTO creates opportunities for members of the general public to get involved with nonproliferation efforts and contribute their perspectives. And also building on the last speaker, we also identified areas where we see opportunities for the CTBTO to expand outreach through diplomatic and technological means. So on the subject of targeting youth, we see potential through targeting youth in underrepresented regions. We see a lot of potential for applying technology to make translation easier and also to engage people in underrepresented regions by decentralizing activities at the regional level. So you might see that would maybe be events in Southeast Asia or South Asia, areas that have a geographic and cultural similarity to overcome barriers created by events being limited to the Vienna time zone or limited by language. And at the moment, we don't think that these are fully engaging areas that show like the most activity, at least from what I've seen from the CTBTO youth group. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for this contribution. So I'd like to change a little bit the twist, and I have a technical question, and I'd like to ask this question to Christoph Gebb. So Christoph presented the poster P32074, and I wanted to ask Christoph if the zeolites that he's using as adsorbents, do they work for xenon sampling, for the argon sampling, or can they work for both?
Yeah, hello. So we mainly investigated them for xenon, but there are indications. Well, yeah, there are indications that some of these zeolites you can also use for argon-oxygen separation. So there have been studies on this. We looked at it, but for this specific poster, we only looked to xenon adsorption. But this is, yeah, silver exchange zeolites can also be used for argon.
But would it be precisely the same material which could be used for both? That you have one sample and then you can separate the xenon and argon from the rest?
Yeah, so that's a good question. We are not at the stage where you can really use them for both. That's one thing. And one reason for that is, for instance, for the xenon adsorption, the mechanism for the interaction is not yet very well known. And it's a different mechanism than for the argon. So there is quite a lot of research still to be done to really understand how these zeolites work with both xenon and argon. But yeah, this is a way in the future that could be possible. But at this stage, we are still far from it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. There is a question to Ms. Tayyebi, but I think she's not here. Pune, yes.
Yeah, I think she's not there.
She's not here. The question was to her. Then there is another question to Jennifer. Jennifer, yes.
Yes.
So the question to you is data processing that you just mentioned and elaborate in your poster and your work, and then how much does it can help with a different scenario for the data generation if you generate the data with a different scenario?
So the data that we generate is a set of seismic parameters that describes each of the lithologies. So this would be bulk density, ultrasonic velocities, porosities, that sort of thing, strength data. And so if we are changing the scenario where we would be changing the, we wouldn't be changing those parameters. We wouldn't be changing the data that we're generating. We would be changing the codes that that those parameters are fed into. And so that is, that's beyond what I do. I participate in the generation of the ground truth data, the actual data that describes the subsurface. And so, yeah, I don't think I can answer that question either. I'm sorry. The codes that our modeling and simulation team use would, like, that team would be able to answer that question.
Yeah, thank you. So more or less the answer would be, if we are trying to generate different scenarios, basically we need to change the parameters in order to generate different data sets.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, I do have a question. I have a question to Moht Fauzi bin Haris. So it refers to the poster P5.1067. And in this poster, you talk about the beryllium-7 studies and the concentrations in the in selected IMS stations in southern and northern hemisphere. And the finding was that withdrawal of the monsoon was predicted better than the onset. And I wanted to ask you if you have any hypothesis why it works for one of those characteristics better than for the other.
Well, thank you for the questions. For the time being, I'm just doing the statistical testing with the methods introduced by the Dr. Terzi. But if you ask me about is there any hypothesis, I do not have any answer for that question yet, because as we can see, the results is quite convincing for the withdrawal, but not for the onset. But then I don't know whether it's just getting the result by chance, or it's look like there's a pattern that you can get from the results. So the study is still ongoing. So hopefully we can get the actual the actual cause for the results.
And how many years of data did you analyze?
8 years.
8 years. And could
Yeah.
you remind which stations you used in northern and southern hemisphere?
Southern is AUP04.
04 is in Melbourne, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And in the northern hemisphere?
Northern is RUP 54, if I'm not mistaken. 54, 56. It's in Russia.
Somewhere in Russian Federation, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm actually also for the first 5 years, actually I'm doing also another study related to the beryllium-7. So focusing on the monsoon rainfall intensity. But this time around, I'm using another station that give a very, promising result. So hopefully for the next SnT 2027, I will present the result.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
I think the question goes to Robinson now. Are you with us, Troy?
Troy, yes.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. The question is, could you explain the type of difficulty and challenges you are currently facing with your analysis or during your analysis and the work?
So my poster, I neglected to make a lightning talk, but it's about calibration of high purity germanium detectors for xenon 133 metastable. And the challenge with that is most of the samples with xenon 133 metastable are accompanied by xenon 133 ground state. And the approximate ratios of count rates to those two isotopes is 50 to 1 in the negative ratio. So you get a lot of dead time problems when you're trying to analyze 133 metastable because of all the 133 present. And so we were working on trying to quantify 133 metastable indirectly by just counting the 133 and using either activity ratios that are decay corrected. And so we use that method to try and calibrate our detectors. But because of the lack of 133 metastable counts, the calibration method was not very promising, at least compared to other techniques. It was equally as good, but not better. But we do find that this indirect quantification method works very well for shortening 133 metastable quantifications in certain quantification scenarios. Does that make sense? I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, thank you. Just a follow-up question, I'm curious to know. So what else can be done to improve, if not better, to improve the situation, to get benefit of the approach that you are mentioning, or any expansion to that?
So the indirect quantification of 133M relies on the calibrations that we use for quantifying 133. And so I think if we can improve the 133 calibration, specifically at far distances from the detector, I think that the 133 metastable can be detected indirectly. And so we've been working on collecting more data and analyzing, trying to figure out why there's a lot of variability between detectors for the results. And so I think it's based on the calibrations that the method is based on. So we're working at improving those.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have another question to Khalda Ali, if he's with us. Khalda? It seems not. But then, you have a question to them.
No, I had a question to Reinhold Suarez, but he's not on either.
Robert, there's a question to you in asking, so you are mentioning that you are not using the AI, but then you said that how we can use AI, the power of AI for analog data. Can you elaborate on that?
Right. So in order to get a decent result from any sort of AI ML, you need training data and you need a lot of it. So we don't have a lot of digitizations that have trusted digitized results with them. We have scans, but we don't have anything to test it against. And so what our work does is it provides the ability to produce simulated analog data that has a trusted digitized value, so that we can actually build these data sets to start building the tools that we can digitize historic data with.
Okay. So, all right. I have another one, which I'm reading it now to you. Let me just see it. So the question to you, Robert, is what are the challenges that you do see in your work for the transition from analog data to digital?
Well, I'm not sure I understand the context of the question, because the entire point of what we're doing is to digitize analog data itself. And analog seismograms were a totally different beast from digital ones. You're dealing with, the recording, the storage medium is paper or whatever the physical media it is. So you have the properties of actually getting that signal on there. You have variations in just the storage or how the instrument was working that day. There's all kinds of different things that were kind of, back in the day, were kind of known by kind of intuition of the operator that you'd have to account for. It's not anywhere as clear-cut as modern digital data is.
Thank you, Robert. If I may take this opportunity, I would like to give at least 30 seconds or 1 minute to Kazima to explain a little bit more of the work that she has done. Kazima, do you hear me?
Excuse me, Kazima doesn't speak in English very well.
All right. Okay.
Okay. She contributes a lot in doing the work, but we use, as you know, we use artificial intelligence to produce our work, but she doesn't speak very well English. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then I go to Sergey, maybe. At least I would like to give equal opportunity to everyone, not those that they are asking questions on their poster. Sergey or Lee?
Sergey,
Sergey, go ahead. Yeah, please.
Sorry. What question?
I wanted to give a floor to Sergey to a little bit talk about the work, the challenge and difficulty that they had in order to run the work.
Our investigation devoted to development of a new type of system for detecting of organ 37, and we proposed to measure organ 37 by registering scintillation itself in liquid organ samples prepared from air. And the main complications connected with very short wavelength of scintillation. It needs to use very special type of photomultiplier, and if we use more common, more regular photomultiplier like Hamamatsu R331, we must to use wavelength shifting, like heterogeneous and it's not supposed to high efficiency of registration, and as very special photomultipliers now not not deliverable, we suggest to increase wavelength photons scintillation light by means electroluminescence effect, and now we and this time the development of improved scintillation chamber with electroluminescence effect is in initial stage, but we expect increase in luminous flux by at least 10 times. We will provide sensitivity sufficient for measuring the radioactivity of organ 37. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sergey. Much appreciated. Christoph, I would like to go back to you. There's a question to you. How much improvement did you observe after applying your method?
Yeah, actually, so compared to the materials which are already used in the IMS, the performance is a bit lower. So I say the factor 2 to 4 compared to the synthetic zeolites, but it's much better than what was used in the past, activated carbon. So we are in between. But yeah, this is a study which is ongoing. So yeah, there is still room for improvements in the future. And again, because this mechanism between xenon and the silver in silver exchange zeolites is not yet really well known. Yeah, there is still a lot of research behind to understand this mechanism and improve the materials. But yeah, there is room for improvements in the future.
Okay, and can you elaborate more on the method and the approach that you foresee for the future in terms of improvement, and what kind of code and open sources they can contribute to your work to improve it faster? Because the way that you're explaining and the result is fascinating, and then I'm curious to know, and perhaps the audience.
I think one part which is important for the noble gas monitoring systems. So these silver exchange zeolites, this is one of the improvements in the system compared to the previous generation of systems, but they are only usable in a certain portion of the systems because they are sensitive to moisture and other gas components in air. So if you can find a material which is as good but less sensitive to ambient conditions, then you could clearly make a further improvement of the system, because then you could simplify the system in one step, for instance. So now you are using multiple steps, and yeah, these silver exchange zeolites are one of the steps. But if you can really find a material to really accommodate with ambient conditions and high flow rates, for instance, this is clearly a way forward, I think, in this field.
Okay, thank you, Christoph. Monica?
We shortly need to wrap up, so maybe one or two more questions, and then we'll finish the session. Do we still have questions?
I have a couple of more questions, but unfortunately, the author are not here. Perhaps you can start if I find those that related to author who are here, then I can ask them. Yeah, go ahead, Monica.
We'll be wrapping up the session before we finish the questions.
No, because they are not here. I have question, for example, Turby is not here.
Yes, so let's scroll it for 1 or 2 minutes, and then
yeah, give me 1 or 2 minutes. Luis Maria is not here, yes, or any of the co-author?
No, I think she's not here.
Or Chen is not here as well. No. Davila is not here as well. There was a question to Juan as the last question, if she's still here. No.
Sorry, was that question for Ms. Khan or somebody else?
Yeah, for Ms. Khan, yes. But yeah. Okay, so you are, yeah, you said you or one of the other youths that said that's the second time that they were here. Francisco, was that you? Or one
it was myself and Amber, yeah.
So the question is, how do you see this compared to this SnT in terms of participation compared to the last one that you attended, in terms of gender, in terms of diversity, and also the method and technology?
I can start us off. Well, it's difficult to say. So last time we attended in person, this is online, so we don't have a full view of what's happening. But what we can say is that we know that other students from our university, the University of British Columbia, are in attendance again. So I think that demonstrates that university engagement really does work, and we have like a very strong history of UBC students participating in these initiatives, and our professors are very, very adamant on continuing to educate the youth about the intersection between nuclear science and nuclear diplomacy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Ms. Khan, and then I give the floor to Francesca.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, so another important aspect here is the role of the youth CTBTO, the CTBTO youth group. And also, I would like to highlight one thing, and I'm really honored that I was also part of the CTBTO fellowship, which takes place every year. And we were allotted by the CTBTO and the team this topic. And at the start, I thought it is, not very catchy, but once I started reading the reports, I got to know how much more needs to be done. And see, if there are only 35 females, we do require more. We I look at the kind of abstracts you get. It is more important to add at least 50% of females and increase their their participation. And similar goes for the youth. We need to add more youngsters. And I apologize, I have 3 kids in the background and they started shouting. But I mean, what the last thing I would add here is that give me a second. Okay, so the last thing I want to add here is that the CTBT youth group is doing a lot, and the issue is that the youngsters who are looking at non-proliferation, arms control, disarmament, they do not know much about what is happening in CTBT and where, what are the more advances that are needed, particularly in the civilian uses of things. That needs to be told to the youth, and as I said earlier, on their level. So I think the emerging technologies are there, the social media is there. There is a need to use the web of all these things for the good of the greater mankind. That's important.
Thank you very much. Francisco, last 30 seconds, because we need to wrap up and we have only 2 minutes, please.
Yep, I'll be quick. I think everything there was covered it all very well. I just wanted to reiterate the importance of funding youth as well. Being able to go to workshops and conferences like this and see each other, meet each other is incredibly important. We're still in contact with a lot of youth that we met last time at the SnT conferences, and having interactive media as well, like the VR and things that they can interact with and see how it actually affects the real world and their day-to-day life. And yeah, it's awesome to see this momentum. So.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. If I may, the floor is yours, Monica, to wrap up.
Thank you. So time passes quickly. I would like to thank everybody who submitted their posters, lightning slides, lightning talks. That was very helpful in preparing a fascinating session. I'd like to thank the audience for active participation, for all the questions you posted. I think we answered most of them.
Yeah.
This brings our session to a close, and we'll see each other either in person or online tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice evening. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.